Hello and welcome. I'm Peasant. I'm going to be taking on Sweden 4 with BoDaN, bringer of dreams and nightmares. So Sweden, Sweden. I haven't played against them in a while. They've got their flirty explorers on their escalation effect. So if you've got a lone invader, they can turn them into town. This is you don't want that to happen. They also can place a load of extra blight if they do 6 or more damage, and then their buildings do extra blight. This is just setup stuff. Yeah, tricky. We'll see how this goes. It's been a while since I've fought against Sweden. So, I think what I'm thinking here is that I want to go a turn one nightmares in here. So post build, I will push this Dahan. Push this Dahan into this area so that on turn 2 I can do Call of Midnight Streams with Dreams of the Dahan to get a major in this area here. Obviously, to do that, I need to be kind of over there. So yeah, I think that's my plan. It's to go over here. So I'm going to want to maximize the amount of energy I've got. And the way I'm going to do that is by going with this particular growth option. Now, the bottom track is kind of awful with this spirit. There's no two ways about it. It's just terrible. And I could actually. This is an interesting thing. I normally go straight in with a double dream, midnight dreams into dreams of the Dahan, but in this case, I actually think I'm not going to do that. Yeah, I'm going to try and maximize my major. So I'm just going to play that one card. Oh, actually, wait a second. On my subsequent turn, I could even go with Reclaim 1 to get one of these cards back. That could actually be okay. We could just get ourselves some extra fear on the go. We could make a Sacred Site in here. Gee, that feels reasonable. Predatory Nightmares are probably not going to want to use it after turn 1. It's just me being prejudiced, of course. So we'll do it in here. We'll just gain a couple of fear. And we'll gain a whole other fear. So that's pretty nice. Because obviously, as BoDaN, you can't destroy Jack Diddley. Except in a kind of your Dahan will still fight back, but that's it for destruction effects. So I'm going to Predatory Knives in here and do 2 pretend damage. And where am I going to push this guy? So this is going to be a double blight kind of situation. So I guess it may as well just be an even more of a double blight situation. I think I kind of want to cluster stuff together rather than spreading everything out. But this is with BoDaN. This is always a bit of a hellish race against the clock. So I think I am going to cluster this in here. I guess we just don't want this to pop up again soon, and we're going to push this guy into here as well because then we can gather it next turn. So we're going to go with Reclaim 1 out of present, so we're going to get our call back. And we're going to go to 3 energy, and we're going to place here, so we've got a Sacred Site. Then we're going to do this, and this is typically what I do turn 1, so I'm trying something different here. So, right, so that's our cards chosen. So I think it's tricky, because with this, if I choose to forget it, I will actually lose that moon icon. So I think I actually want to Spirits May Yet Dream first. Yeah. And it's the same with these Night Terrors, so I think I will do these first. Yeah, let's see what fear card we're about to get. Each player chooses a different land with invaders. With huts, sorry, invaders take a damage there. So of course that damage is real. That's actually going to be really nice down there. So it's good to know that that's the case. Let's gather a couple of friends in here. Again, we don't want lone huts against Sweden because they're very attractive, and it's just how it is. So we're going to gain a major power here, and we could play it immediately. Let's see. This is a moony one. We like that. Obviously, remember with BoDaN, my powers can't directly destroy anything, but they can potentially generate a lot of fear. So the other decision I have to make is, do I want to play this right now? Winds of Rust and Atrophy is pretty good. It generates a little bit of fear, and it also is defense. And as I've mentioned, defense is pretty much the only way, with my Dahan fighting back, is the only way that I can actually destroy anything. But actually, things that destroy a lot of stuff are also pretty good because that's how I generate most of my fear. So yes. So for example, if I can do Jungle Hunters into here and destroy these 2 towns with Jungle Hunters this turn, because I luckily have some jungle presence, so I can use it, that's going to be 4 fear, which is not insignificant. Also has moons. We like moons, but Winds of Rust and Atrophy is just straight up a great card. So that's it's got nice icons for us. Purple and red are kind of useful for us. Not super useful. And it even has the ability to defend 2 separate lands. I think it's arguably one of the strongest cards in the base, and the high range is good for me as well. And it will actually... we got here, so 6... so 3, sorry, can't count. 3, 4, 8 damage there. So I think that is what I take, because this is effectively defense 7, because you're basically downgrading one of the enemies in there. So I think I will take this and play it immediately. I am a bit sad not to be taking Jungle Hunters. But this is going to drop double Blight, so I think I do want to do this. And I'm going to forget Call on Midnight Stream, so I'm going to get to play it immediately. Yeah, and I'm going to play it in here. And I'm going to downgrade the city. It's a tricky one, because cities are worth 5 fear if you kind of pretend destroy them. So you kind of want to leave them lying around. Yeah, tricky. I'm sure there is an optimal way of doing this. I'm sure I'm not doing it. So I think I'm going to downgrade the town. So we can prevent this build down here. That's marvellous. Oh, it did still... Oh, okay. I can't count, apparently. It's still blighted anyway. Oh, it's because I'm against Sweden. Here's the thing when you play against an adversary you've not played for a while. So I am full of regrets, and yeah, full of regrets. Okay, we have Sand Ravagers here. This is a good one for us because they will fight back and kill that one there. And this is going to be... Yeah, so this is what I forgot to factor in, is that towns do 3 damage and cities do 5. So my maths were completely out on that one. Yes, so we do want to defend in here, almost certainly, or scare them away in the fast phase. Our reclaim option is kind of horrible, so we don't want to do that if we can avoid it. So we're probably going to want to try and reclaim 1. But there is only 1 Ravage to worry about. I think we do reclaim our Winds of Rust and Atrophy, and maybe we do try some Dread Apparitioning. Yeah, I think that's the right option. So we're going to reclaim 1. It's going to be Winds of Rust and Atrophy, and it's going to be on this track. This track is just, yeah, we don't talk about this track. We'll put it in the middle. It probably doesn't matter. And we do have the 2 plays, and we've got loads and loads of energy. So probably, I mean, could just be generating some fear with this Dread, because our Night Terrors will go from a 1 to a 2. So that's pretty significant. And seeing the fear cards we've got is also pretty handy. Yeah, so this feels a bit wasteful, but I think it's necessary. We've got these builds, and then we're going to have the Ravage. Maybe we don't go with this. It's going to generate me 2 fear. I actually think we conserve our energy, because we're going to be drawing a major next turn, and if it's a big one, then we might be business. So I'm just going to go with the Winds in here. So that's going to downgrade that town. And then we're going to Night Terrors, get a little bit of the old fear going. Coastal builds, and then mountains. But I've got no lone Dahan, which is always good against the Swedes. Always good. So I think probably doing here, we've got these 2 Ravages. I've got to remember these towns are doing 3 damage, not 2. These cities are doing 5 damage. So this is, if I can downgrade this to a town, then actually that's a downgrade to 8 damage. It's still still too much for my... So if I did Dread Apparitions and Winds of Rust and Atrophy, then I might be doing something. But I actually really need to gain a card here, and I need to reclaim as well. Because I need to do something to defend myself. And we are going to go Major. We've got loads of energy. Let's hopefully get something useful. Ooh, it's our old friend Indomitable Claim. So obviously defend 20. We laugh at you, Swedes, with your puny amounts of damage. So that would be quite nice. It will of course accelerate our growth, which is also great. I don't think these are actually going to help us particularly. Obviously gaining extra fear is great for us. The icons are horrible, but we'll see what other things we draw later on. I think we will go with this. I think we get rid of Predatory Nightmares because it's terrible. Having said that, wait a second. Wait a cotton picking second. Predatory Nightmares actually does have mountains on it. So mountains is going to be the thing we struggle with the most. So what do we get rid of? Dreams of Dahan actually can generate 3 fear. No, I think we do get rid of Predatory Nightmares. In Dread Apple, yeah, we definitely need the Nightmares. They're terrible. They're terrible, terrible Nightmares. So we've got 2 Ravages, which one, and we can actually defend both of them. But we're not really doing much about the build. And the trouble with these mages is they don't have moons on, so we're kind of skipping this ability here, which is a shame. Crying shame. Ooh, we can get some... We don't have a Blighted Island, so I think we want to keep it that way. I think that is worth avoiding for now. We are going to get a bit of a weak turn, but we can at least we can just keep on claiming for a while. So we're going to Indomitable Claim. Oh, it has to be one away from our... Oh, God. The targeting errors. So we can put it in here, but then we're not actually going to have the defense to actually prevent this. Unless we get lucky with a fear card, which is possible. It could happen. You never know. So bend it there, and we will make this reduction because it's a reduction of 2. So I can remove town. Let's prevent this build. That's buy that for $1. So we do have a Ravage, and we are now blighted. It's okay. It's okay. If you've got a clean island, then you're playing it on too easy difficulty. That's the facts. Those are the facts. I'm just whipping through there a little bit too quickly. Don't even know what's happened. Don't even know who I am anymore. So we've got this Ravage here. We definitely want to defend that. So we're going to be going with a Reclaim 1 in there, and we'll get our beautiful Indomitable Claim because that's the only thing we got. We've got these builds here. I would love to actually gain some power cards that are actually going to mean we can, generate the fear we need to win here. We could reclaim and gain, but that doesn't feel great. What else are we going to do? What are we going to do with our extra action? We can gain a load of fear. That is still pretty valuable. And then we've got these builds here. These builds and then into Ravages. We are actually going to have to gain another major at some point. Now, this is the problem, of course, with having 2 defensive major powers. But that's an any... Yeah, this is problematic. This Ravage could only be defended in this way. I'm actually tempted to go Reclaim all just so I can gain something else that's useful. I'm not going to be able to immediately use it necessarily, and I'm not even sure I have cards to get rid of. But this overflow is going to be too much. We can't allow that, so we have to reclaim one way or the other. Even reclaim and gain a minor, that seems awful. Let's reclaim, get our Indomitable Claim, and we'll go down here. We'll go down this track here, get the any, which might mean we can just get a bit more from that. So we'll Indomitable Claim, and I think we want to the Dahan here, and we need to work out what we want to do with our bonus bonus elements. So we're missing the beast to get an extra fear on that one. And if we go moon, then we can gain another beast. Oh, so that's pretty good. If we gain the moon, then we actually are going to have this ability, and we can then gain the beast for these night terrors. So that's nice. So we will target ourselves, and I guess we want to look at the next card. Remember, push up to 3 explorers or townsmen inland land. Well, that's prevent that build. That's wonderful. And then we're going to get this beast, which should mean finally that the night terrors kick in. Oh, it's an element we already have. Well, never mind. Look at that. So many flubs. Flub, 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 flub. Yeah, so that little trick didn't work, and in fact, it did cost me a fear instead of gaining me one. Well done. Let's have some sunshine, because why not? So we can do this in here just to gain a load of fear. I don't think I've got any good reason to be moving my Dahan again. I guess I could bring them in here to counterattack. Actually, not quite as balmy as it seems. We're going to put our claim in here. We can get up to 5 energy, which is pretty good. That means we're going to be able to be playing a couple of mages a turn, and this track is awful. I mean, if we go on this track, and next turn we reclaim 1 and place, we then might get up to 3. Yeah, I think we'd still persevere on this track. So we're going to go in there. And I don't know, do we want 3 fear? We probably do want 3 fear, because it prevents... we guarantee prevent this build. So I think we go Night Terrors in here, and then we go and do this here, which will gain us 3 fear. And we can use it to prevent this build. So we hardly got any spare powers, so we're going to destroy a presence. We've got a spare one here. And then we can push these guys from in here to somewhere else. Let's not push them somewhere where they're about to ravage. Though actually, we might be... oh no, we can't push cities. So yeah, let's push these fine gentlemen and ladies into there. And then we've managed to avoid that build. Pure BoDaN skill, of course. It's a shame these guys are up here doing Jack Diddley. But that's just how it is right now. So, we've got a Ravage in here. We can, of course, reclaim. We can do this and just get our Indomitable Claim out again and start making some progress down this track. But our other option, our other card isn't really doing anything. I think this is a turn where we might want to reclaim and gain, because we're going to have 7 energy. Isn't a lot of energy. I think we definitely want to be placing our presence as quickly as possible, though. If we can maybe reclaim 1 and add a presence, that would be this presence, and then we Indomitable Claim would place this presence, and then we'd be kind of pretty much out of cards again. And it's just not really that worthwhile going down that track at this point. I think we need to just assume we're on 2 actions for the moment and make sure we're actually making progress. So I think I am going to reclaim and gain a major power card. And it might be that I just forget the power card immediately. But we need to have an offensive card, and it needs to be big. So we're going for the majors. Okay, so what have we actually got here? If we could get this extra power, threshold power on an Indomitable Claim, that would be marvelous. So that's mountains are a slight premium. Paralyzing Fright weirdly doesn't have moons, but otherwise it's a great way of gaining a lot of fear. I mean, this threshold is 2 fear cards. This is a huge card to have. And skipping is obviously great when you're a spirit that just can't really do anything. Also has the purple on it, which is nice for this threshold effect. I think this is what we want, because we've got situations here where our opponent is going to be placing double blight because they're Sweden, and so what I'm talking about here is this: if they do at least 6 damage to the land, they place extra blight. And although the claim has been great, this is also great as well. So I think that's what we go for. It's kind of offense / defense. Pushing is also kind of okay, but this is 8 fear. I guess 6 is good, and it does have the moons. As we're mainly using stuff that's off-brand anyway, I think we're going to go with the paralyzing fright, and then right. Cities are our problem, and yeah, we can't push cities with this. So I think we do go with paralyzing fright and moon mountain. So sorry, air on the threshold. We do have an air on our track, so we are just wanting mountain stuff. We do have an any, so this is pretty good. I think we need to get rid of one of these cards. Maybe it's Winds of Rust and Atrophy. We're not really gaining the ability to use it twice. But we're also, that's the only way we're actually going to trigger the higher tiers of this innate here. I think Dread Apparitions, you have to go. I'm sorry, Dread. So we have the 2 plays. We can, yeah, I think we definitely want to, yeah, we definitely want to be doing this. So we've got a Ravage here that we want to prevent. And there's a build in here. So we might want to, we might just be reclaiming here because we are still kind of expanding and this track is just not urgent to go down. So, oh, but we can't actually do both of these. That's crying shame. Don't have enough energy to do both. Well, that changes my calculation somewhat. Yeah, I said it. I said calculations. So what we might want to do is actually go with this. It's actually going to be enough. See, these buffed. So these are going to do. These towns are going to do 3 damage each, and the cities do 5. So if I downgrade this to a town, then that's a total of 7, including that explorer. So Winds of Rust and Atrophy will be enough in here. So I think I will play. I'll go these 2, and then just try and make sure I've got enough energy next turn to play these 2. Sad thing about that is then I'm not sure I'm going to be able to. I should be able to get the threshold on paralyzing fright, so that's okay. Yeah, I think that's right. I think that is right. It's got some kind of streaming habit. Sometimes like looking over to check chat. You're doing YouTube stuff. There's no chat here. Right. So we can gain a load of fear. We can have a look at a fear card. Let's do that first. Buildings do not. Invaders do not build in lands where Dahan outnumber buildings. So they're not going to build here. That would be great against England, but we are against Sweden. And we've got these. We're not going to be adding any icons to the mix. Oh, we do have an icon to add. We could add a moon. How far off this are we? We don't have the water to double that up. So we just need to add a moon to get an extra fear. So let's do that. So Night Terrors is now worth 3. It's pretty good. And Winds of Rust and Atrophy can go in here. We downgrade the city. So now that should be a total of 7 attack. And then we can Dreams of the Dahan in here to gain 3 fear. Alternatively, we could drag these Dahan over here to counterattack. That would gain only 2 fear, but 3 fear is going to get us to the next fear card. And I think is that more important? Let me just think about this. If we are about to get into the level 3s. These guys being over here, wiping them out, is good. We do have lots of defense cards. We're not really using these guys. No. I think 2 fear removing 2 towns is good. The island is getting a bit out of control, so I will just use this to gather these 2 fellas in here. And then we have to lose something. So I guess we lose one of these. Yeah, we don't really have any powers to forget. Just realized that paralyzing fright needs adjacent sacred sites. I'm just undoing before it. So where am I going to be using this next turn? It's going to be in a wetland. So okay, we are okay for that. That's going to be our paralyzing fright spot next turn. So we're going to destroy this presence. They don't build. Yep, we knew that was coming. We've got our 4 damage, so we'll destroy these 2 towns. If that extra fear from gaining fear from dreams would have pushed us into tower level 3, I would have definitely taken it, because some of those effects are pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Okay, so we are into the growth phase. We're going to have the energy to play both of these. We've got wetland ravages here and here. Obviously, we want to keep on adding our presence to the board. So this jungle and sand means that so 1 second. Let me just consider this. We definitely need to do something about this. We also we're going to skip Invader actions somewhere. So it's going to be these 2 that we do. I guess, does it matter what order we do which one we do where? Maybe it doesn't. Because, yeah, I'm not sure it does matter. So 8 is a lot, and we're probably going to want to do the same again next turn. So I think I might go with gaining some energy. So go with that. We will gain... Yeah, we'll still be kind of behind, but we should still be able to do Paralyzing Fright. Do we don't have another mountain card? Maybe we want to... Yeah, we're just not going to have the energy if we reclaim next turn to actually play both of these. We would be able to play one of them. Okay, so we've got jungle and sand builds. Wait a second, we might be in a good position to just fear them out at this point. Maybe what we need is a useful miner card. Yeah, I think, because we're not going to be able to gain enough energy to play both of these energy anyway, using this method. So I think I'm going to go with gaining a miner. Obviously, but still placing presents. And I'm going to put it in here so that we've got sacred site access to these here. Though actually they don't seem that high. They don't seem that important. But oh yeah. But first we need to, of course, look at the miner that we're drawing in case it influences our decision. Rain of Blood has great icons, and also great icons for Winds of Rust and Atrophy. That might mean that we can actually use it at double effect, which is very, very good. Do I even look at the others? I suppose I should. Yeah, I guess the problem is that it's kind of about the kind of number of plays we've got. We are eventually going to get up to 3 plays. I think this is the call. All right, so we're going to place this in here. So we've got sacred site access to the whole map. We've got our 2 plays. We've got our 2 ravages that we want to do something about. And we're going to gain the extra mountain to get this threshold effect. Yeah, that threshold effect is worth an extra 4 fear, which is kind of crazy. Right, so we are defend 20ing somewhere. I guess placing here is maybe slightly better than placing in here, because then we get a sacred site. Yeah, maybe. Not sure there's... Yeah, I guess going with a sacred site, but we've got sacred sites everywhere, but we'll trust whatever instincts that it is I'm using here. We're Paralyzing Fright in here to gain 2 fear cards, basically. And destroy cities? How do you propose I do that? It's not really how I roll. You destroy anything. 3 fear cards. That's quite a lot. Let's have a quick look at where we are with fear. So we basically need to generate 12 more fear. So this card on its own, well, with its threshold effect and then another 4, that feels doable. This card itself is worth 3. Obviously, it's a slowy, so might not be one. And we do have this quite ominous double. We're going to have a double ravage next turn, but we might be able to do this in the fast phase if we can play this and something else. But we've already established that we probably can't. So watch yourself, peasant. So we are going to destroy a presence, and I guess we'll just get rid of this one we just placed in here. Each player may remove up to 3 health worth invaders from a land without cities. So we're about to have a build, so we can just completely reduce the amount of consequences. Let's prevent. Which build do we care about? Let's prevent this build maybe, because these have both got Dahan in, so they're going to be able to kind of fight back and kind of help. Each player removes I can remove a city from a land where I have a sacred site. Well, that's pretty nice. Yeah, and actually I could even get to the point now where Winds of Rust and Atrophy, I might be able to remove cities with that to get the victory. So I suppose we remove a city. We've still got kind of big fear farms that we can use. Each player chooses a different land and removes up to 2 health worth invaders there. Okay, let's sure, I can't choose this land. Is that because I've already chosen it for something else? Is that a rule that I just don't know? Could be. Could well be. So let's prevent this build then. And those ravages don't matter. S and W. Explore. No slow phase. Right. So we might be in the finishing straight. We need 12 fear. In order to get 8 fear from paralyzing fright, we basically need these 2 cards. And we need to play both those cards. We can't do that. We can't do that this turn. So what we need to do is make sure that we survive, obviously, and that we can get to the turn after next and be able to play this, which is going to be 8 fear, which is almost certainly going to be the win. So how do I guarantee survival? This ravage doesn't matter. This ravage does matter. Obviously, so we've got 2 ravages that matter. We might even be able to just go with Winds of Rust and Atrophy. So purple, blue, and 2 red, and actually defend in 2 of those. We might be able to do that with the Reclaim 1. Claim, add a presence with Rain of Blood. They will have enough energy next turn. Well, actually we won't unless we do this. Because the trouble is we don't have a source of the extra stone, rock, mountain even, that we need to get this threshold effect. Maybe we don't need that threshold effect. But I think to make sure that this doesn't go pear-shaped, I think the thing to do is to... The other thing we could think about... No, what I was thinking there was that if there were 2 or less cities, we could remove them with Winds of Rust and Atrophy. But there are 3, so unless we get lucky with a fear card, then that's not going to happen. So I think we definitely are either reclaiming all or reclaiming 1. Of course, if we're reclaiming 1, we could reclaim something that's really good. I mean, we could just reclaim Fright and then do it next turn with the threshold. So that would mean we've got, if we go for this option, so that's 6 plus another 2 plus another 5 is 13. We should work. But then we need to actually get it back. Oh my God, I'm going in circles here. I think this is the right call. Maybe we can... No, I think we can... I think we go with cheap option. So we've got 6 there. We reclaim. If we spend 3 this turn, we'll be down to 3. Yeah, so next turn we'll have 8, the 8 we need. So I'm going to go with Winds of Rust. So we're going to spend 3 this turn. And then that means that next turn we should have the 8 we need to play both of our mages. So if you've been following all that, congratulations. Yeah, so we're going with Rain and Wind. we just double checking we get our threshold, so we just need the extra blue to get our threshold of wins. Yep. And that's that. So fast phase. We are only gaining 1 fear. Ooh. But we are going to be winds of rusting and atrophying in 2 separate areas, which always feels really nice. Okay, so we've got to destroy a presence. We've got loads of that. Let's destroy one of these ones. We've got ravages that don't matter. And now, hopefully, next turn we should be able to win in the fast phase. Let's just quickly rain a bit of blood down. Okay, so let's just double check a sanity check. We just need 6 fear. So our best way of getting 6 fear is to reclaim all our cards and play both of our mages. So paralyzing fright with intermissible claim, which we can afford because I've done my maths. The game wants us to gain a card. Let's just gain a card. Don't think it matters. So we're going to go with fright and claim, and we could have some dreams as well while we're there. We should be good. So that's the. We need to just make sure we get the extra mountain for this threshold effect. And yeah, we are good. So that's that. And then we can win by paralyzing somewhere. Let's where do we want to paralyze? Let's paralyze in here. Observe it. And that's it. That's the victory. Immediate win. So thanks for watching. This has been I Am Peasant and I Like Spirit Island. If there's a playthrough you want to see, especially a solo playthrough, let me know in the comments. And yeah, thanks for being here. Let's just quickly see what the score is. So I need to just move it here and then show you some details. 47 apparently. I don't know why that matters to you, but it might do. So yeah, thanks for being here and I'll catch you next time.